spirits harnessed, fucked up and used. Lord, will we ever know? And we know nothing yet. And Lord, we know. I think it might be time for me to go. I think it might be time for me to go away. I think it might be time for me to go.
We're good. Mammals, welcome to E3 Mafia Radio Show. See, there's already people on. There you go.
Yeah, my girls are on showing me some love already. This is
That
pretty
is
awesome.
what's up. Welcome to E3 Mafia Radio. The show was created to get yourself out of a shitty day if you haven't one. That's why the tag name is Therapy Beats Stupidity. And we'd like to have people on there that are doing cool stuff. This week, some of you that are already watching, you may have seen Miss Katie Morrissey here, who's already crushed it with some of her makeup for Halloween, doing her live videos. So we wanted to promote her talents because she's very talented. We want to get her on and ask her how she got into doing what she was doing, how she does what she does, who wants to follow her, be friends, learn from her, follow her stuff. And unfortunately for her beautiful, sexy husband, Mr. Kevin Morrissey, we forced him to come on with us as well. If you were listening to the song, the intro to our show every week, that is Dismissed How We Burn, he is part of that band. So we have two talented individuals that are here with us this week. I don't know how the hell they deal with each other's bullshit, both trying to do their thing. But I want to say thank you for coming on, and glad to have you here.
Thanks for having
Happy
us.
to be here.
What's going on? So your last video, what was the name of the character?
The Sally Halloween
Was
look.
that Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that video got a ton of views, and I remember I shared it with a few friends, and they were like, "Jesus Christ, how did she do that?" I'm like, "I don't know, but I'm gonna watch this video because it's pretty freaking cool looking." So, things we're gonna discuss with her, like I said, how she got into do what she's doing, and who wants to learn from her. So, if anybody that's watching right now, y'all should be watching her videos a lot more. How long have you been doing that? Because I know you're doing a side business. I don't know like how it works. So you want to explain to people what it is, how you got into it, what you do, and how it became your passion.
For sure. I mean, I've always had a passion for makeup, just being kind of a girly girl and, loving makeup. But I did come across a young lady by the name of Alexandra Robello, and I think she's actually watching right now. She is, hey, Alex. But she's my sponsor, and she's the person who kind of inspired me to do more with, makeup. So essentially there is a company, and it's known as Unique. And the brand Unique was developed, it's a full line of skincare and cosmetics, and it was developed to raise awareness and to benefit women who have been victims of sexual abuse as children. So it's not just a makeup business.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not just a makeup business. A lot of the proceeds from the makeup sales go directly to funding, sending these women to a retreat every year so that they can meet other women who've been through the same thing they've been through, and they get pampered, and they get, some closure and some, therapeutic tools and things of that nature. So, the more I promote these products, the more it's going to benefit these women. And I don't know that people understand the statistic, but 1 in 5 people are victims of sexual abuse as children, and that statistic is far too high. So the more people know about, what's happening, and the more people are aware and can educate their kids and, keep an extra eye, I think it's going to benefit a lot of people in the long run, so that, later down the line, there isn't such a need to raise this money to try to help these women, as adults who are still struggling with self-image and self-esteem and not feeling beautiful and feeling ugly on the inside because of something that happened to them as kids that they really had no control over. So that's really what the Unique Foundation's all about. So I go live as often as I can. I do makeup tutorials. I use all Unique products, and all of my Halloween looks was with Unique products, just to kind of show it's not just a line of makeup. It's very versatile. It can be used for multi-purpose, and all the products are chemical-free, and they're all natural and good for all skin types. So it's a really great brand, and they just keep blowing my mind with new products every month. So far the journey's been great, and I plan on continuing for as long as I can anyway.
Are they animal free as well?
Yeah, never tested on animals.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Another thing I've never talked about on air. I was abused as a younger kid by a family member. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Dude, it just. That's why we were talking earlier. You know what I mean? Like, I've gone through so much shit. I just finally went, screw this. Here I am. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But how many people do you usually have watching you? Because I know this week, like, that look popped. I was like, man.
That look did
Everyone
pop.
I showed that to was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that particular video sort of went viral, and it's kind of the first time that's happened to me. Usually my makeup tutorials, right away, right off the bat, I'll sign off and I'll have a few hundred views. Within a week or two, I usually am between 1,000 or 2,000 views. This particular video I did, when I hopped off the video, there was like 3.4 thousand views already, which means those were all people that hopped on while I was live watching. And then since then, with people sharing and all that, it's up over 6,000 views now and climbing. So it's been pretty crazy, and a lot of crazy stuff has happened since I did that video. So.
Well, that's like we were talking earlier, yourself and Kevin in the waiting area. It's funny when you go from doing it and there's only like 20 people watching, and then 100, and then you're like, you wake up and your phone's like blink, 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 and you're like.
You've had a couple videos
Cool.
that have gotten quite a few views.
Yeah, I think it just depends on, the interest. Sometimes it's just like normal everyday makeup look, and some people probably aren't that interested in it, but when they are scrolling through Facebook and they see someone who's doing some like crazy Halloween vibes, then they're maybe a little bit more interested in that. So I try to do fun stuff. Sometimes I get some crazy wig on and I'm doing some funky look, themed looks and things like that. So I try to keep it interesting, and I take requests. So if there are people that are like, oh, I'd love to see this, I'll do it. Yeah.
So like when you're doing those videos, people are like, hey, can you do that next week? Can you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say, like, all of the Halloween looks that I did this year, the first time I did the look was live on Facebook. So the videos that you see on my page, that is not like a rehearsed or a look I've done before. I try to, like, get out of my comfort zone, try something new, just to see what I'm capable of. So.
Yeah. I mean, I noticed when I drop myself into an uncomfortable situation, I get that, like, 2 minutes of, like, and then I'm like, oh, and then you forget about it, you're like, whew, and then like 2 hours go by and you're like, oh, what the hell was I worried about in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, growth comes from stepping outside of your comfort zone. I mean, if you're just staying in your little box and doing what feels comfortable to you all the time and feels safe, you're going to be stuck in that box.
Yeah.
So it's when you really like step out of your comfort zone, try something new, and hopefully blow it out of the water. Or if you screw it up royally, it ends up being funny and people watch that too. So
I'm a
it's all
firm
good.
believer, even when you fuck stuff up, that's when you learn some of your best lessons.
That's true, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, we all
I
get a
try
good
to-
laugh.
I try to not think before I do anything.
And then sometimes
That's true. I can vouch for him on that one.
And then sometimes you
Put as
overthink
little
it.
thought in it as possible.
And then sometimes you're like, why didn't I think about that? I should have thought before I did
Most times.
that. Right? So when you first got started with the company, like was it just someone else that was, trying to sell something to do something similar, and then you looked into like, because I really like how it's not just a company like you said, they're doing things to impact people's lives, and I found out in the last 2 years when you're doing things for the right reason, people just start to follow you. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly. I mean, so when I got started, my girl Alex was doing Halloween looks last year, and I was really blown away by like the ability to create these crazy looks with just like kind of an average everyday makeup type thing. It wasn't like special effects makeup. It wasn't Halloween makeup. It was just regular cosmetics that you would use, foundations and lipsticks and things like that, but they're so versatile you can use them for so many reasons. But when I saw her do it, there's a kit that you can buy that essentially gets you involved in being a presenter, and you can either get the kit and just score an awesome deal on makeup and be done with it, or you can snag that kit and you can try your best to make something out of it. And I will say probably the most influential reason that had me, instead of just grabbing the kit and going, which was my initial plan, I was just like, sweet, this makeup is awesome. I'm going to buy this kit because I'm saving all this money. This is awesome. But when I really got to know some of we call it Y sisters, so some of the other girls that are doing the same thing that I'm doing, and the support behind it, and the mission behind the line of cosmetics, which is to uplift and empower and validate women and make them feel beautiful no matter, who they are or what they've been through. Everybody deserves to feel beautiful in some way or another. So when I kind of learned about all of that, that's really what piqued my interest and really spiked my passion. So I was already passionate about makeup, but if I could do makeup and help other people at the same time, then that was really it for me. So I've just kind of hit the ground running and just been working on building my network and sharing these products and showing people how awesome they are.
And that's what it is. It's networking. So when I watch your videos, so like I sit there because I'm a smartass. I'm like, okay, all right, is she doing this in her basement or in the bedroom? And if she is, does Kevin get the don't come in the room and mess up the background while I'm trying to do this video, right? But like I see the K, so I think maybe it's the bedroom, right? I'm like, I think he gets told maybe every once in a while, just don't come in, or I'm doing my thing.
We're pretty lucky. So our house is pretty spacious, and when I started doing my videos, I literally was doing them
possible.
out of the closet of my master bathroom. So the master bathroom has like the accordion door type thing, and it's got shelves. So I had everything set up on the shelves and my phone on a little thing with the ring light, and I was doing my lives from there. And after like a few months went by and I really decided like this is something I want to keep doing, and I don't want to keep doing it out of my closet, we were able to convert what used to be just a laundry room into a makeup room. So the space you're seeing in my videos now is just a room dedicated to my business and my makeup. Yeah.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm pretty lucky.
You got a base space at the house, bro?
No, not
No,
yet.
every space is the base space at our house.
That's too freaking funny. I just, again, like when I saw those videos this way, I was like, man, we got to sit down and talk to her. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What we do here is I want to bring people in, as we discuss, get them out of their funk, but also showcase people's talents that are doing really cool shit. And you're doing really cool shit. He's doing really cool shit.
Yeah, I appreciate
and
it.
we want people to see who's doing stuff like this. So anybody that's listening, before we get into I roll them into the nonsense of what we do here, which is our show's based off of if you had a shitty day, anything that happened in your life, which is funny because, the message you're saying about the reason why you're working for that company is get people out of their funk,
Yep.
from a place of laughter. And I just really appreciate you guys being here. I got some questions for you, which we already discussed earlier.
Yeah, sure.
There's some people here online. You can call if you want to sit here and ask her any questions. 617-903-7464.
And I got my Facebook open, so I can see comments popping up here too.
Yeah,
so.
me too.
Yeah.
Bing, 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 bing,
Right.
bing, bing. So, yeah, we talk about some stupid stuff on this show based out of comedy, get people out of their funk. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted Katie on.
If you guys haven't noticed, by the way, I did a half face on this man.
Yes.
So the side you can see is the man side.
Yeah.
He's got a really pretty glam side on the other side, though.
So-
Some bomb-ass lashes happening.
We have some pictures we took when I first started, and we're going to post those tomorrow. This was a special show. We usually are on Wednesdays, but we wanted to come on Saturday to sit down and talk with her because, of schedules and stuff like that. But We're glad to have you here. Now I'm gonna roll you into some dumb shit. And
Let's do it.
if anybody wants to call, feel free to call. So I try to do some things where it correlates to the people that are on when they're on.
Cool.
We discussed earlier, but and I've said this before, I don't read this stuff. I read the headline and then I go, okay, because I'd rather like discuss it on air, and I'd rather be surprised myself. So we try not to rehearse anything. Sometimes when we get to reading, I'm like, Jesus Christ, the stories surprise me. So because you do makeup, as we discussed, the 10 makeup artist horror stories. I have no idea what these are. I just read the headline. So some of the stuff you were saying when you were doing my makeup earlier, you were like, oh, I did this, that, and the other. And I'm sitting there going, like, I couldn't talk, right? Because, like, when she was doing my lips and my eyes, like, I felt like saying to Kevin, I don't know what the fuck that is. I have no clue what she's talking about. You know what I mean? But one of the terms you used, I saw briefly when I was looking at this. I was like, hey, she can explain that later.
Yep.
So I just wanted to get into some stories. So
Sure.
2016, Darwin. Some of these probably dumb. Sometimes they work. Sometimes they don't. So 10 makeup horror stories. 2016 Darwin Award nominee. Client, this vitamin C serum you sold me does not work. Me, how are you using it? Client, once a day like you told me to. Me, how are you applying it? Client, in the morning on my toast. What the hell is vitamin C serum?
So there's all different serums you can get for your skin, and different vitamins have different effects on, your skin itself. So a vitamin C serum is just specific to vitamin C, and it's just to replenish your skin with, vitamins that maybe it's lacking. So if a makeup artist is recommending a specific serum to a patient, to the patient, I'm a nurse too, guys, so don't mind that.
It's okay.
To a client, there's a specific way in which we tell them to apply it, and sometimes it seems like a no-brainer and we shouldn't have to explain how to put it on, but it's important to explain it. Otherwise you'll have people that will say, oh, this isn't working, and you get down to the nitty-gritty and you realize, oh, they're not even using it right, which is half the problem. So we do have to
Probably
kind
pretty
of
aggravating too.
yeah, well, sometimes you think it's a no-brainer, like, okay, they got to know this goes on their face or on their skin, because that's why I'm giving it to them, as opposed to on the toast. It's not to ingest.
Like, why would you have a makeup product come to your house, even if you order it online? Like, put it on my toast. Like, really? I mean, I'd be
Maybe
more
they're thinking
impressed.
it like comes through the skin from the outside, like like a healthy diet or something.
There's no shortage of stupid people on Earth anymore.
Trying to rationalize it.
Y'all have to see this. So if you hear some of these and you've had similar issues, let me know those stories. Y'all have to see this. At school, learning how to glue on individual eyelashes, I glued the client's eyes shut.
Yeah. So
Are you kidding me?
so
Like, if you get paid to do makeup and it's like, I can't fucking see.
my eyes are jammed shut. So I will be honest. I'm not a master of false lashes. Luckily, the mascara that we have makes it look like you have false lashes, so they're really not necessary. But I myself have glued my eyes shut inadvertently, trying to put false lashes on. It's one of those things where, if you don't know the right way to do it, then you shouldn't. And so if you're doing individual lashes, there's a specific way that has to be done. And it's time consuming and it takes a lot of patience. So if you just get someone sitting in a chair and with their eyes closed and you're gluing the lashes on, they're not going to be able to open their eyes when they're done. Their eyes really probably should be open, or they should be laying flat facing the ceiling so that you can kind of get that on top without getting it in their eye.
Jesus Christ. Like, my eyes are glued shut. You gotta be kidding me. The case of the shiny face. When I started to freelance for Laura Mercier a few years ago, I was doing my first shift and was still not 100% comfortable working with the product. I told the client about their incredible press setting powder, which it is, and that's what they said, and then proceeded to pick up their Highlight 01, thinking it was the setting powder, and put it all over her face.
Oh, no.
I was I'm not even done. I was nervous, and I did not realize right away that I had the wrong product. Her face was so shiny, so I
She
owned
was
it.
glowing.
I owned it, and I was like, look at that glow, like you just said.
Yep.
So best part is she ended up buying it. Now every time I grab that highlighter out of my kit, I have a good laugh.
Yeah, so, setting
is-
powder
yeah.
and highlight are very different. Setting powder is mostly translucent, but the idea behind it is to mattify the skin. So it's to prevent that
What
shiny...
does that mean, mattified skin?
So some people are more oily than others, and when you put
Okay.
makeup over the skin, after a while of wear, you can get kind of a slick look to the skin because the oil's building up under the makeup. So setting powder is going to fix that problem by getting rid of that shine and kind of absorbing any of that oil, so that your skin's not too shiny. So in taking the highlight, which is literally made to make your face shine to the heavens, and if it's designed to go in specific spots, not all over the whole entire face. Because there are certain areas of the face, which when I did your makeup, you may remember, we did a little on the tip of the nose, a little over here, up under the eyebrow, just to kind of accentuate and highlight certain areas. If you put it everywhere, then they're just going to be glowing
That's
like
no
crazy.
bueno.
So she kind of got the opposite effect, I assume. So the setting powder was to mattify things, and instead she just had this girl glow into the heavens. But hey, you know what? People like to glow, so this girl liked it. She bought it.
She's right. That's the thing. It's like,
She was like, "Wow, this setting powder is awesome."
yeah, I fucked up so bad. I'm gonna buy more. Jesus.
You gotta own your mistakes. You know what I mean?
You have to.
Double
you
down.
You gotta, yeah, double down and just be like, I fucked up. My bad. You know, I'm gonna own it. Oh my god. Oh no, I'm just browsing.
Okay.
I had a bridesmaid tell me that she liked a strong brow. I always begin by asking what they focus on when they're doing their own makeup to avoid them fixing things, and so I gave her a gorgeously defined brow. 20 minutes later, she walked out of the bathroom looking like an angry bird with black brows. I assume it was gel liner because they were shiny. It was so bad. This was a very affluent family and would have been a published wedding.
Oh my god.
Hey, way to screw up the photo shoot.
I know, huh?
So what is that? Like, what is browsing?
All right, so everyone prefers their brows a different way. And there are some girls who like a thicker brow or a darker brow, and other girls like myself who don't necessarily want their brows like too crazy dark. I'm fair skinned and I have, light complexion, light eyelashes, light everything. So I do fill in my brows, but I do it, subtly. And then there are other people who want them thicker and darker, and they like that kind of drawn-on look. And a lot of times when you're trying to do what looks normal for a person, if it's not what they're used to, they're going to try to change it because they're going to be like, well, I like my brows darker or whatever.
They think they almost know what to tell you
Better.
what they're doing, but
Right.
rather than someone that knows what they're doing.
Exactly. So when you have someone who, you give them a nice defined brow and it matches their hair and it looks good and coordinates with the makeup, and they go in with an eyebrow pencil and fill it all in, it's just going to kind of screw up the whole look. But then it makes the artist, the makeup artist, look like they don't know what they're doing. So it's like you gave them this great look, they altered it, and now it looks like somebody put on brows that didn't know how to put on brows.
Now,
So that's what's frustrating.
have you worked with other people where, maybe like maybe there was a wedding or something like that, or an event or whatever it was, where you worked with someone and they did something. They did something you were like, ooh, shit. Like,
Yeah, I actually see it a lot.
how do I not tell you that sucks and I need to fix it? And you're making me look bad because I'm here with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think most women are open to criticism when it comes to that stuff, especially if it's coming from someone who knows what they're doing. Because
Hold on, say that again. I hope my wife's listening.
I'm not saying it again,
Yeah.
just for your wife, okay? But I think ultimately, if people are set in the way that they do their makeup just because it's the way they do it and it's how they're used to seeing their face every single day, and you're trying to make it look different and not what they're used to, sometimes they're open to it, sometimes they're not so open to it. But I would recommend for any woman who's getting their makeup professionally done, you have to be open-minded and you have to be willing to try new things, because the whole idea of having a professional do your makeup is because they're going to know what colors are going to coordinate well with your skin tone. They're going to know how dark or light to apply certain things, whether or not your foundation is matching properly or not matching properly, because nothing worse than having the line down the face because your foundation's the wrong color. So even though you may see it and go, oh, this is not what I'm used to, just roll with it. You got to be open-minded and just see how it goes. And if you have a bunch of people telling you it looks horrible, then okay. But ultimately, if someone who is professional at doing makeup does your makeup and it's not what you're used to, then just roll with it. See what happens.
I would assume too, like when you're in that position, and maybe for example, let's just say it's a wedding, and it's like the stress you're hearing cackling from family members, or maybe a bridesmaid or a bridesmaidzilla, right? That doesn't look. This doesn't. You probably have to be open to like, okay, I know what I'm doing, but maybe she wants a little bit of this, so I gotta adjust.
Yeah, you do have to be flexible, and obviously you don't want to upset anyone, especially if it's on an important day. You don't want them stressing about their makeup because you didn't want to make changes that they were asking for. Yeah, you don't want an angry bride, because you wouldn't listen to what she was asking you to do. But on a personal level, like I went and got my makeup professionally done for my wedding, and I ended up redoing it after.
I was gonna say, like, I totally get that.
I just wanted someone else to do it.
It's your wedding day, right?
Yeah.
You want to be pampered, you want to be spoiled. But that's funny. It's like, fuck
I
it.
was like, I could have done a better job. Which, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but, I think that because it was myself and my bridesmaids all in one location and only one girl, those two girls working on all of us, that there was a bit of a rush through. And I kind of just felt like the right things weren't accentuated, and like just even like the mascara that she had like recommended. I was wearing the individual false lashes, which you're not supposed to put mascara on, so I had to like stop
false
her.
lashes, those are like fake lashes, right?
Yeah. And it's quite a process to get them done because they literally like one lash at a time have to glue them on.
What? They don't do like the whole
Yeah,
strip?
No, I didn't do the strip. I did the individual lashes just because they last longer and they look a little more natural. But you're not supposed to put mascara on because the oil in the mascara will actually detach those lashes. So she was about to put mascara over my lashes, and I was like, I just paid $175 for these lashes.
You're like,
you are not putting mascara on
You don't
them."
know what you're doing.
Yeah, so it was a little frustrating, but I mean, I think it just depends on where you go. And I will say that you are better off finding someone who does makeup professionally, that doesn't like work at the Macy's counter or in a hair salon. Find someone who does makeup full time, who isn't just working at a chain and was trained last week because, they have to know how to do makeup because they work at this particular salon.
You know what's funny too is like when I go to the plaza or whatever, and I usually park at like two spots. Sears, just because I don't like
Not worth fighting crowds.
I don't like crowds of people. It's
Straight to the roof. Straight to the roof.
Yeah,
of the
as
garage.
Rob says, too peoply for you. I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't
Too
like crowds.
peoply. I like
Yep.
that.
Or I'll park out by like Macy's, but what if I do, and I walk through there, you hear all the smells and the scents, and like you this question's for Kevin. Like I walk through there, I'm like, okay, a 240-pound man, I don't look like I wear makeup, and
They'll still get you.
they're like, hey, can you try this? I'm like, do I? Did I miss something? Is there something that looks like that I'm the type of guy that puts on makeup? Even if I was a gay man, I have people in my family that are gay, love them, but do I look like just the kind of guy that like you would hey, you want to buy this?
You look like the kind of guy that might have somebody that you want to buy it for, though.
Yeah, good point. But it's funny that you said that too, because I'm like, the mall. No, if I was gonna buy something professionally, I would do it somewhere where it wasn't the mall.
Yeah, I mean, do your research. If you need a professional makeup artist, do your research. Don't just like pick the first person you find online.
Screw that. You need a professional makeup artist. She's sitting right here. The situation in high school, I used to wear a foundation 2 to 3 shades too dark.
Yeah, this is a huge problem. This is a huge situation.
So what is? I don't know this crap.
Yeah.
Like, what is foundation?
So foundation is basically what you're putting on to start your look, and you want it to match your natural complexion and enhance it so that it evens your skin tone out. So for me personally, I have like veins under my eyes that are visible, like around the edges of my nose is a little red, and between dry skin or patchiness or whatever. Usually if you're looking at my face with no foundation, because you're seeing different, tones and things happening. The foundation is to kind of cover that all up and make it all one color. The idea, though, is to find a color that suits you, which means it really should like match the skin color of your neck. So if you're putting like a dark foundation on because you want to be more tan, if your neck is not the same color and you're not willing to paint all the way down here with your foundation, it's going to look horrible. And in the mirror, you may think it looks great, but when you turn to the side, there's a very visible line, and it's very obvious that you've got the wrong color foundation on. And it's a huge pet peeve for all makeup artists because some people think that like that Jersey Shore orangey bronze look is the way to go. It's just not.
It's so, and you know what stinks is we all watch that show just because
Jersey Shore?
Yeah,
Oh, it's the best.
dude, it's
I
so
love it. It's so
trashy.
good.
I'm
It
like,
is so trashy.
I'm like, that orange look. I'm like, stop going to the tanning salon. Like, it's not good for your freaking skin. Now, have you ever had a day where, like, maybe, I'm probably not, but maybe it's happened. It's probably, I mean, you learn through screwing things up how not to do those again. Like, has she ever had a day where you're like, yeah, you know what you're doing, but I think you fucked your makeup up today.
No, I mean,
Here you go.
No, never.
not that I've ever noticed.
I didn't expect that. I would have, hey, one day I wasn't doing this or doing that, you know? Like, you never were, like, late to work and just, I'm not doing my makeup today.
No. So I am one who will not go out in public without makeup on. And that's just probably, for me, like a comfort thing. There was one day that I went to work without makeup because I really wasn't, I was, like, late for work and I wasn't trying to, like, be later because I had to put makeup on. So I show up to work, and I'm a nurse. Show up to work, no makeup, and everybody was like, oh, are you feeling okay? You don't look very well. You're very pale. You've got dark circles under your eyes. Did you get any sleep last night? And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
So I guess when you're used to being, like, everybody has seen you only with makeup on, and I don't mean, like, I go crazy with eyeliner and lipstick and all that, but I at least put on foundation and a little bronzer just to give myself some color, just to even things out and make me look like I'm, you know, haven't been up for 4 days, because that's kind of what happens when I don't have makeup on. But I start every live video barefaced, so you can see me with no makeup on anytime you want. It's on there.
I watch them, so it's probably, it's like your routine. You wake up.
Yep. Well, no, I do, actually, my routine is that I do my makeup in my car, in the parking lot at my work.
Oh, my God.
On the days
ran
that I
into
work.
this today, someone was doing it driving.
Okay, well, I don't do driving. Driving, I do not do. I wait till I get to the parking lot of my work, and I spend maybe 5 or 10 minutes to do just a quick, like, foundation, bronzer kind of thing, little mascara, and I'm good to go. On the days that I don't work, if I'm going somewhere, I will take the time in my makeup room and, you know, really, really go at it. But that's pretty much it.
I yelled at a woman on the way here because I'm such an asshole magnet. On the way here, this woman was weaving, and I could see the phone, like the lights of the phone, like going like this. I was like, you fucking Texan and driving asshole.
I do that all the time. I'm so guilty.
Oh my God.
I yell at him all the time, like, will you put the phone away?
Dude, there's
It's like, we're
Bluetooth
at
in
a
every
red
vehicle.
light.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Come on. It drives me insane, right? So she's doing this. I'm beeping, and then she's speeding up and slowing down, speeding up and slowing down. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'm going to lose my patience. And then she hits a red light at the Home Depot. And I was like, honk, roll the window down. I'm like, hey. She's like, what? I'm like, fuck you. Put the phone down. I could see her go, I'm sorry. And then the guy behind me, I'm like, fuck you, dude. I just got to get in town. Get away from me. Oh, my God. But I've seen...
The driving to Boston to relieve your stress.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just
Good idea.
increases it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I've seen women doing that, like putting the makeup on and they're doing the weave. I'm like, can you just do it when you get to work or do it before you leave?
Right.
Like you're about to crash into the guardrail.
It's not worth it. It's not worth dying, people.
No, and I would assume that it's probably more like well kept when you're sitting,
Yeah.
not driving.
Yeah, you
It
probably
can't
do a
be
better
easy.
job if you actually take the time to do it.
Well, and then what happens when you, like, accidentally jab yourself in the eye and you can't see now and you're, like, behind a wheel of a car? It's like, probably not a good idea.
Well, like when you were doing my makeup earlier, so I have an old eye injury. I had a coworker years ago. This is where I continue to sprinkle your stories into mine. This is where we cross. This is where stupidity meets therapy. I got to talk about this so I don't lose my mind. This kid was asking me all the time, hey, you want to go to a Bruins game? Want to go to a Bruins game? Want to go? No. Dude, I was in the Marines. You were in the Marines. Come on. I'm like, dude, you're 10 years younger than me, and you're stupid. You show up to work late all the time. And even when you're at work, you suck at trying to be good at just basic tasks like, tucking your shirt in. And I'm like, oh, fuck. All right, fine. Okay, I'll go to the Bruins game with you. Sure as shit. I got season tickets. I'm like, okay, I got a 10-game season ticket pack for the Bruins. We're sitting in the balconies. I'm like, I don't sit up here for a reason because this is where all the dumb people hang out and the fights start. I'm like, and I'm not trying to do that. I just want to go home. There's a fight like halfway across on the balcony. He's like, let's go over there. I'm like, no.
What, to the fight?
For
Let's
what?
not.
To get arrested? How you can go? Matter of fact, we're 2 steps away from the edge of the balcony. Lean over. I'll fucking kick you. I'm good. I just want to go home to my kids. All right. he starts to drink a little bit more and a little bit more, and I'm like, oh, he's getting obnoxious. Now, I'm not having fun at the game. I'm babysitting. Okay, now I know why my brain was saying no,
Yeah,
no,
right. Don't
Yeah.
no,
go.
no. He gets a few beers. He's like, let's grab a beer before we go home. Like, oh, great. So we took the train in. At the time, we were living in West Roxbury near the Faulkner Hospital. Thank God it was close to my house because of what happened. So Katie was doing my makeup earlier. My eye starts to water. I got corneal abrasions, and I got the fortunate event to get recurring corneal abrasions. So
Ugh.
if anybody's ever torn their cornea, the top layer of your eye is called epithelial, and it's just like a scab. So if you pick a scab, like say it's at the like a fulcrum, you know, in your arm, and you constantly do that, and it starts to stretch and tear. Every time you close your eye, that's what your epithelial does when you have a tear in it. Pink, 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 pink. So we're on the train, and this idiot, he's drunk, and I'm like, oh, God. So he starts dead arming me, like punching me like we're in freaking high school, right? Whack! I'm like, whack! Dude, and the train's packed, right? So now
Oh,
people,
always.
and he's being loud. And
Yeah.
I'm like, son of a bitch. So I'm like, okay, you know, for my years, I'm doing martial arts training and teaching people how to defend themselves. I'm like, I know if I stand up, he's going to stand up. I'm going to hit him right in the nuts. I'm going to drop him right back down. I did that. And then I felt bad because I hit him really hard in the nuts. And I was like, dude, I put my arm over his chest. I was like, you okay? He took his finger.
He poked you right in the eye.
He didn't just poke. So the Marine Corps teaches you in the martial arts program, when you stick a finger in someone's eye, rake it, keep circling it, and it tore the cornea. So when you were doing my makeup,
He's, like,
that's why
trying
it
to legit
flares up.
hurt you.
Yeah, like take my eyeball out.
Jesus Christ.
I slapped him at work a few months later when it was all good.
Yeah.
And I had
Oh
a
my
chance.
God.
So I had to go to Faulkner Hospital. Oh God, my wife. I think I've been a mass Ioneer within a 6-month period when it first happened, probably 40 to 50 times. And it got to the point where my eye would close so much that this eye was getting too used, and that started to close.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then I got to the point where they would both close, and I was starting to see sunlight through my forehead, which just scared
Oh, shit.
it scared the piss out of me. You know, and they say that's what happens to blind people.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'll never go to a Bruins game with that asshole again.
That's
But for years, every 6 weeks, like on the dot, it would not water. When you saw my eye watering, within 30 minutes, it would start to completely close. So I'd be at work, and my coworkers would be like, "Dude, your eye." I'm like, "Yep, I got to go home." So I was like getting to the point where I was almost close to the house, and it would just close. Now I'm trying to drive,
Yeah.
like no perception on the right or the left. I'm probably doing this like somebody probably thought I had like a 30 back driving home. Like fuck, I would have to go home.
Yeah.
So like that's why it waters up from time. Today just happens to be one of those days. Don't ever go to a Bruins game with some shitbag 10 years younger than you.
No, I wouldn't. I think Kevin has a fun Bruins game story too. Where
Yeah.
he drank too many Heinekens
was,
and was
Phone's
not allowed in the
birthday.
bar afterwards.
Happens.
Friend of our phone's birthday a couple years ago.
Hey, he always starts those problems.
Having a good time. All of a sudden, I just woke up at like 4, 5 in the morning behind some building, hammered.
No phone.
no phone.
No money.
Yeah.
Oh,
wallet
God.
empty.
Like, this is where I'm at in
I
life
think
right
we tried
now.
getting into a friend of ours bar. I forget the name of it. I think it was, I don't know, Down or something like that. And they wouldn't let me in like right off the rip because I was just so hammered. And
I'm
friends were
so
like,
glad
"Oh."
I was not there. I'm just gonna say.
They're like trying to figure out what to do, and I was just like, well, I didn't want to ruin everyone's good time because I was too drunk, so I just
Yeah.
ran down the street.
and hid in an alley and passed out.
Yeah.
Hey, your brain said, I'm tired.
Yeah, and
Sure
I didn't want
did.
to ruin everyone else's good
I'm
time.
just going to take a nap right here.
That's exactly what I did. I just wish I knew what I did with all the money in my wallet.
That's the worst. You wake up, you're like, I know I
It's
had
like
$200.
Yeah, it was $200.
Yeah.
$200
Sure
bucks,
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's like still drunk the next morning calling into work. I was like, oh, I got robbed at knife point. It was like this,
Dude.
like huge story.
and it,
Still hammered. Got off the phone. I was like, why did I just say all that? I could have just said that I wasn't coming in.
Not feeling good. Not coming in today. That would have worked.
and again, I got 6 more questions to ask Katie, but like this is what the show's about. It starts spiraling into stories. Last time I went to the Garden. It was a UFC fight. It was Conor McGregor, Dennis
Nice.
Sievert, one of my very good buddies, Brian. He was an Army combat medic. He was like one of the poster children for the home base program. He saw a lot, as a medic out in the field.
Yeah.
But now he's like ace. He's good. He's aces. And I'm like, hey, you want to go to the fight? Yeah, cool. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to go to work the next day. It was on a Sunday for some reason. It wasn't on a Saturday. So we got a hotel. My buddy Dom was there with us. And before the fight comes on, like, we're 3 fights in. You get, like, 4 more fights. I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm going to grab a beer. Cool. 20 minutes later.
Still not back.
Fucking 30
Some
minutes,
line.
an hour. I'm like, no, I'm like looking for him at the beer
God.
places.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ. 9 hours later, I had to go to the hotel that we were partying at, that Dominic was staying at for a while. And I'm like, dude, calling him, phone dead,
Yeah.
right? Like you're saying. Where the fuck is this guy? Like, I'm worried because at the same time, a lot of those articles that were going on in Boston with college kids going missing while they were drinking near
In the
waterways.
Charles, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like,
That weirdo
I'm
serial
thinking the
killer.
worst thing, which I shouldn't have been thinking the worst case scenario, but I just was. I was worried about him. I've known him since I was like 8.
She's a good worst case scenario.
Oh,
type
everything
person.
is worst case scenario.
You got to meet my wife. She's a WebMD. You got a disease. You got to die. And he comes, I ordered the hotel, unexpected. Dom had a hotel we were partying at, and now I got to pay for it. And I'm at the counter, and there's a bunch of drunk Irish people. Now, being a bartender in Boston, I'm Irish, Scottish, like, I get it. But real Irish people, you ever try to shut someone off from drinking at a bar? You got a better chance of pulling a fucking tooth from a bear that's pissed off that just got shot with a bow and arrow in the neck. Okay? It's not easy. So I'm at the desk, and this kid kicks my legs while I'm just trying to pay $400 for a hotel room, thinking that maybe he'll find his way to where we were. I'm like, oh, God. I had to slap that kid, and then security kicks him out. He comes rolling up 3:30 in the morning. I'm still awake because I'm worried. I had called his wife. I had called my wife.
Oh God.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, he's like,
He's just having a great time.
the look he did, the smile on your face, dude. He came rolling around the corner like, what's up? I'm like, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, right?
What are you doing? He's like, you have no idea what just happened. I'm like, please enlighten me.
Yeah.
What he proceeded to tell me was beyond an epic story. He goes, I went to go grab a beer. I got bumped into, and next thing you know, I'm in an elevator. Brad Marchand's there, and a couple Bruins, and some of his friends. I go, yeah? What happened to the beer? He goes, elevator went to the bottom of the garden where you can't usually access. You need a key card, but obviously he plays here, so that's where his car is. Okay. Well, I got in his car. I'm like, okay. Fucking, you gotta be kidding me. He's like, no, it gets better. We went to his condo. He lives in the North End. I'm like, yeah. He's like, a bunch of his friends were there. They thought I was with him. I was not. I was just there. I was just watching shit going on. His friends start doing coke. He's not doing coke, but he's like, and I just partied with some of the Bruins that weren't doing anything wrong, but their
Snuck his
friends
way
were.
in, right time, right place.
I was like, and you stayed there for fucking 7 hours? He was like, seemed like the right thing to do at the time.
Stayed
it
there
was-
till the coke was gone.
It was pretty cool. He's like, I didn't do any coke. He's like, I was like, fuck it. I'm like, dude, you can call your wife and tell her that. I'm not calling her. By the way, she's going to be calling you because I had to call her and say, I don't know
'Cause
where
you
your
were off
husband
the-
is.
Going off the hook, calling
Oh,
everybody.
dude, I was worried about him, which,
Yeah.
bro code. I gave him some hours,
He
man.
should have gave you a heads up that he was leaving the building.
Just saying. We come in peace, though. I did makeup for a friend's wedding in 1997. Her niece, junior bridesmaid, had been at a track meet the whole day before and was really sunburned. So being a good color theory follower, I pulled up my green Shiseido redness corrector. What the hell is that? And primed her red little face with it, then followed with foundation. It looked fine until the pictures came back. I will never forgive myself for that green little Martian bridesmaid.
All right,
So
so
if you use certain things, it can change the color.
yeah, so there's a lot of like color correction that goes into thinking about making someone's skin look flawless or as flawless as possible. So if someone's got a lot of red undertones, whether it's because they're sunburned or because they have rosacea or they just happen to be pink cheeked.
Rosacea, what's that?
So that's like a condition where you're just kind of red in the face all the time. And it's not like an itchy kind of thing, but it almost looks rashy for people that
Or
get it.
flush.
Yeah, so they just kind of always look flushed. But for those ladies, you want to use greens because greens neutralize reds. So
A lot of times if someone has like a blemish that's really red, you can kind of cover up that redness with a little bit of green. But you always then go over with like a foundation just to bring you back to like your, a natural skin color. My guess is a lot of times with flash photography, you get like this effect where in person it looks great, but then in pictures you're seeing a different shade.
And that's something you would probably want to tell like a bride before you did that. Like, hey, this might not work because of that.
Right, and
maybe
I
I'll
think
talk to the photographer.
they may not realize that happens. Sometimes you can have that same issue with, it's called flashback, where if you put a color on your face that's a little too light, when in a picture with a flash, it will look like way whiter than it does in person, and it looks kind of clown-like. So it's the same situation with this color correction. In person, I'm sure it didn't look bad, but in pictures, it was probably more green than it should have been. So it does happen, though.
My photographer for our wedding, like, we did the same things that everybody else does. We had the meeting with the DJ, the photographer. Our photographer looked like he got in a fight with an alley cat the day of our wedding. he had like a broken
Behind the
nose.
camera.
Oh, man.
Open sores. I was like, dude, we're doing family fucking pictures right now. He's like, I'm really sorry. I'm like, you look like you just got thrown out of a dumpster. What the hell is your problem? My wife was like, this guy, I don't even want to talk to him. I'm good. Like, get out of here. You're making us look bad.
Better than the caterer.
True.
You guys have a bad catering experience?
Oh no, I was just
No.
with open wounds,
dude.
trying serving you food.
We had a great wedding too. Everybody enjoyed our wedding. We didn't get married in a church. We got married in a hotel, and it was done in 10 minutes, and then that was cocktail hour, and I got in a push-up contest. I got in a tequila chugging contest, and then someone grabbed me.
I think everybody loses those.
There's
Everyone.
no winner in a tequila chugging
No,
contest.
tequila's undefeated for its
Yeah,
existence,
exactly.
100 for 100. This looks good, right, guys? Poop brown lip liner all over my lips. I'd sneak it behind my parents' back. It's the only makeup I had on. It was hideous.
Yeah, so there was a time when that whole like brown liner with the white lip was cool, like in 1992.
For like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's not cool anymore. Okay, there should be no like accentuated liner with lighter color lips. What's in now is the ombre lip. So the ombre lip is a take on the lined lip with the two different colors, but the idea is that you're blending. So you may have darker color around the edge and lighter in the middle.
Is it still brown?
Can be brown.
Ombre? Is it?
Oh, ombre is really just when you're blending two colors together.
Oh, okay.
So like you'll have brown here, and then it'll blend into maybe a pinker tone or whatever. So ombre is cool. The lined look, not cool.
Like the line look, is that like when you see that fine pencil line?
Yes.
Like, okay.
And
There's no blend probably.
Right, and
Yeah.
I'm all about lip liner, and usually your lip liner is going to match whatever lip color you're putting on, and that's really just to create a barrier so that your lipstick doesn't bleed into like the fine lines around the edges of your lips.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to lining your lip, pick a color that matches your lipstick, or make sure it's blended really well so that you get the ombre look and not like that straight up outlined look. It's not cool.
Man. Go. What is this one? Go Brows Go. My first makeup job had me applying in a dark corner. I applied that I thought what was an eyebrow pencil, not noticing or knowing the color Verde. Yes, she went into her heyday with green brows.
Yeah, you need good lighting. Good lighting for makeup application is super important because in a darker area, it might look great, and then in light, it looks horrible. And that kind of plays off of the whole flash photography thing, where, even in natural lighting, things might look okay, but with that bright flash, it can affect the way it looks. So always use good lighting, and that doesn't mean the yellow lighting in your bathroom. So I personally have a ring light that I use on my vanity, which most people don't, but I'm sure you've seen in advertisements, vanities that come with mirrors have the lights around the edge of the mirror.
So when you do your videos, you're in front of a vanity.
I'm at a vanity with a big mirror, and I have a ring light in front of me also. That is literally
Is that like one of those
just-
table lights that sits there?
Yep,
Okay.
it's on a stand, and it's it's an 18-inch ring light, and it's not what I started with. I started with a much smaller little ring light like this. But then once I moved into the bigger space, the makeup room, that tiny little ring light wasn't doing it because the space behind me was so big. So I had to get a bigger ring light because I was in a bigger area. But you want to have good lighting. And a good trick, if you don't want to buy a ring light or worry about, having good lighting in your bathroom, you can do your makeup like facing a window if it's daytime, and that natural light is also going to really help with your makeup application just to make sure everything's looking good.
Now, Verde, is that like
Green.
Hulk green or like...
Verde is
French
the
for
French
green.
term for green.
Oh, it is French. I was actually making a joke.
It is.
I took French in high school. I couldn't pass Spanish, so I just know like Je m'appelle Sean or Blog Mare bullshit. That's what I get. My teacher was like, "You're so smart. How come you fail every quiz?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just can't do foreign language. I'm sorry."
She knows French. She can speak French.
Let's hear it.
Some French.
Yeah,
It's been a while. I haven't taken French since high school.
me neither. I just remember the bad stuff. Like Je m'appelle Sean. I had a few people I had met the other night. They're like, "Oh,
Why? What does that mean? That's bad.
Je m'appelle. My name
That's
is."
my name is.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, Blog Mare is bullshit. And like, that's it. That's what I got. But I can understand French, which is weird. So like when I was learning, when I was younger, if I hear someone talking French, I can go, all right, second, third, fifth word, seventh.
Yeah.
I know what they're saying. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like Spanish to me, French was so much easier to learn.
I agree. I took French in
So
high
much
school, and then in
easier.
college I did Spanish, and I was like, you'd think I'd get it, but
So explain to people like what learning French is like Spanish, the different names. If you say her name at the beginning or the end of a sentence, like the preface to whatever phrase you would use before her name or after changes.
right.
French was, instead of saying I went to the bar, it's always like somewhat of the past tense that I did. So it's like the bar I was at. It was just so much easier.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, I got a passing grade. Spanish, same thing. I was like, I got you lost me.
Yeah, I mean, I did all right in Spanish, but I didn't retain any of it. That's for sure.
Same thing. Like I know less Spanish than I do French.
Me too.
It was just easier. And of course, at that time in my life, I was all about easier.
Well, they say English is like the hardest language to learn.
I
So
still don't
we're on the
underst-
up and up there.
I still don't understand that though. But I mean, I guess whatever.
It's
language
because we've got a lot of random letters that are silent for no reason, and we've got, you put three letters together that make this sound, but if you put a different consonant in front of it, now it's a different sound. It is difficult to learn, I can imagine, but, when you're learning from a young age up, it's easier. But learning it as a second language is actually really difficult, from what I hear.
I just wish Rosetta Stone wasn't so expensive.
That was a pretty good. And I used that in high school for French, not for Spanish. Maybe that was the difference.
They didn't have that when I was taking it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I want to take it just because, like I want to take it for Spanish, just because like I got the hearing issue. I have tinnitus, so like I always have like earbuds in usually, just to cut that.
You've been learning a language the whole time.
Audiobooks, like I could just be.
Yeah, I love audiobooks too.
Oh, it saves so much time. Like so, I have trouble reading, just because when I'm reading, I hear the wing. I'm like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't do
The
that.
ringing in
you
the
can
ear.
counteract that with like brown noise. What you're hearing is white noise. If you had headphones in with brown noise, I think it would kind of equalize them out.
Now I'm going to ask you what brown noise is, and I'm going to let you. I'm in a hearing therapy program right now, which was awesome because there were 12 people signed up. It was a group program. I was the only one that showed up. There was three doctors. I was like, this is fucking great. I get to pick 3 doctors' brains alone,
Yeah.
and what I go to bed to, and it does 2 things for me. They give you a lot of apps and a lot of equipment to cut out that. So I think that's what you're talking about, like the brown
Yeah.
noise. I didn't hear that term, so I'm going to ask you what that means in a second. For me, it's the app I have. It's rainforest, birds chirping, very, very, very low. So it just cuts out that ween, and it does 2 things for me. One, people think you have headphones on, so they're like, "Hey!" And I'm like, I can fucking hear you. I try to pretend like I know sign language, but I don't, just to mess with people. And 2, it just all day long. Like I could be in any setting and hear everything you're saying. Just you have to do it so low. They say there's no cure for it, but if you keep it so low, that's the best thing that they find. That helps. I had to go to the hearing program. I was, like I said, I was driving on the highway.
Yeah.
Which guardrail am I going to hit? You know what I mean? Like my eyes went white just from that flash. But is brown noise that term? Is that what they use to like cut out? Because what they told me was like front and rear noises. You know, like
I actually am Googling it real quick because I actually, off the top of my head, I actually don't know, but I'd have to assume it's like on the opposite spectrum of white noise. So if white noise is like a static, you know what I mean? Maybe this is just a different frequency of that static or
Yeah.
something like that. That would be my guess because I know it like counteracts it and drowns it out somehow or equalizes it, I suppose.
Yeah, so I listen to it when I go to sleep, like, and it's so low, I'm just like, just birds chirping helps me.
Oh, it's not the brown note. Not the brown note.
Not the brown note, no.
Dude, your phone, our phones think like we're looking up dirty stuff half the time. They have a mind of their own. 1-2 Burbank PD is coming for you.
Okay, so brown noise is a noise which contains all the frequencies that are audible to humans. So maybe it's just like white noise is like sub-frequency or something, and brown noise counteracts it somehow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a hearing specialist on the show tonight.
Yeah, quite the opposite. I'm going.
He's
deaf.
actually pretty deaf.
Yeah.
I just want to throw that out there.
Fuck it, has nothing to do with the guitars.
Nothing at all.
1-2 Burbank PD is coming for you. Maybe not so much a makeup horror story as a makeup horror story. My Freddy Krueger makeup for Son of Monsterpalooza a few years back nearly got us both arrested.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, Burbank Police Department isn't so cool with Freddy Krueger walking the streets. I vividly recall walking out of Joe's bar in Burbank to my Freddy, hands behind his head, bladed glove on the ground, and 4 cop cars. We walked away with nothing but a warning, but it's a story I'll be telling for the rest of my life. Have you ever done anybody's makeup where you're like, I don't think I would go out in public like that?
No, thank God. But apparently that person was pretty talented if it got to the point where the police were like thought they were a danger to society.
Freddy Krueger scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah, he's creepy. Well, I will say, like, my probably biggest fear when it comes to like dying would be burning, and he always looked like he was burnt up and melted, and so he just like really freaked me out.
My buddy always had this sweater. It was the sweater. So, like, it was hanging
Oh,
in
stripes.
his closet, and I'd be like, I'm not going to sleep. Like, I'm good. But, like, the burning, you know, I was looking at that recently because I like to read a lot of books, which is getting harder for me, so I like to listen to a lot of books. They say drowning is very peaceful. Wicked way to die.
Yeah,
I
I'd
don't wanna
imagine
fucking
it
die
would
at
be.
all.
I know.
I don't advise anybody go try to drown. But like burning, I don't know how. It always brings me back to that monk, right? I think it was in Vietnam.
Oh, right, yeah.
and
He
just
lit himself up.
sitting
Yeah.
there.
Cover the
Like
Rage
he
Against
was
the
in
Machine
a place of peace. How did you? Your skin was melting off your body,
Mhm.
man. You were in some weird harmony. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't get it. I just know, like, even when I like burn my finger on something, like, and get a little blister, that's just burning for a
Well,
while. I
once
can't
the
imagine like your
nerves-
whole
Once the nerves are
body
burned
being-
off, like you're not feeling it anymore, and you're just suffocating off of your own fumes.
Yeah,
That's,
but
I think,
you're
what
also
ends up
inhaling the
killing you.
heat,
The heat,
so
yeah.
it's burning your esophagus and your lungs, and it's burning everything.
When you're burned too, your organs swell.
Yeah, everything
that's
swells.
gross.
So that's why
That's-
sometimes so I only know that because my cousin's a fireman, and he was
Yeah.
like, dude, a lot of times bodies pop.
Yep.
I was
Mhm.
like, ugh.
Eyes will pop
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Uh,
Ugh.
next subject. So the nerves. So I just had nerve testing. It's funny you said that. I just had nerve testing on my hand from the surgery I had on my shoulder, and I don't feel these 2 fingers or half my hand. So
Yeah.
they stick these rings around your hand. They hit you with electricity. He's like, it's electricity. I was like, dude, I got belted by 220 at work one time. I'm good. 110, fine. 220, yeah, it really hurt. Like I was on a
Yeah.
call one time. I was alone, and I had my finger. We call them tweakers. It was a screwdriver where my finger went right past the insulation. And it was on the steel, and I was alone. So concrete floor,
Mhm.
bad for electricity because you're
No
gonna get
grounding.
Yep, no
Yeah.
grounding, and that was the main power feed. And it was 220. I was like, bink. I was like, oh, not good. First thing I did was grab my nipples because it crossed my heart. So I was like, whew. And I was like, okay, I'm about to pass out. I started sweating. I was like, I'm going to get on my knees because it's a concrete floor. Because if I
Yeah.
pass out, I'm going to just whack.
Crash.
Yeah.
Didn't feel good. So I had nerve testing done on my hands. He's like, little electricity. I'm like, not a problem, So my hand was doing this. And he's like, you feel that? I go, no. Like, I know my hand's moving. He's like, ramped it up. And I was like atrophy of the hand. He's like, you feel that? I go, nope. He's like, I go, can you stop turning it up? Obviously, I don't feel anything. And he had 2 PAs that were learning from me. He's like, okay, no feeling in the hands. I was like, Fuck that! That's what I'm here for. I told you that. What do you think? I was making it up? Yeah. Hold on. Let me go to the hospital and get electrocuted today. Thanks, pal.
Yeah, he feels it at 236. That's how high we got it up to.
How many joules does it take?
Don't get the wrong idea or anything. Once I went to TFP shoot. What's that?
What did you say? TFP?
Went to a TFP shoot in my neighborhood when I was first standing out, maybe like 17 years old. The photographer worked out of his home. I arrived and he answered the door looking like a mess. All the lights were off. He had a bunch of, it looks like a swear word. He had, looks like shit, Halloween skeletons hanging from the ceiling. Hair was dirty and gross. Shirt totally open, unbuttoned with his... That's why I don't read this stuff. I like laughing at it when I read it for the first time. Unbuttoned with his fat beer belly hanging out. Pants unzipped. No shoes. Crusty feet chilling.
Oh, God.
I said, where's the model? He said, oh, yeah, she canceled, but I figured you'd still come over and we can hang out. I was like, nope. No, bye. Thank you. Fuck you. And as I was turning to leave, he was like, oh, all right, but I got weed. As if weed was supposed to make everything okay and was going to enter a half-naked stranger's apartment. People are something else.
Oh, my God. So it sounds to me like this makeup artist was going to do makeup for a model for a photo shoot. And I don't know. I'm questioning whether or not there were ulterior motives here. Was there ever a model?
No, probably not. It was
No.
probably
Just some
weirdo.
creepy old, hairy,
trying to get
stinky
somebody to come
dude
to
trying to
his
get
room.
some young,
There's a
pretty
dungeon
girl.
downstairs.
Maybe
Right?
it was like a cross-dresser that was like...
It puts
Wanted
the
some-
lotion on its skin.
Yeah, or else
Sticks
it
the
gets
lotion in the
hose.
basket. Sticks the lotion in the basket. Like, so, do you do like home visits? And if you do, obviously, I would assume, just like tonight, you know, it would he would come with you.
Yeah, I typically don't do home visits.
That's probably a good thing.
It's safer. And if I was going to do like someone's makeup for something that they needed, they'd just kind of come to my place. Because I've got everything set up already. There's no point in me going to strange places, not knowing what I'm walking into.
Yeah. I mean, like, even when you and I were texting back and forth, we get to talk about this now. This idiot, right? He tells
This
me,
idiot.
you guys were on vacation, and he's like, just call her. I'm like, she doesn't know who the fuck I am.
True.
Fucking dude. I'm like, you know, I'm like that 1950s guy. Talk to the man.
And I'm pretty sure that was the day that I was like crazy sunburned and not even
He
able to
said
move.
you were sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
I
like,
spent like
"She's
that whole day in the hotel room, which really sucked. Which, by the way, that Cancun trip was earned through my makeup business.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So,
Yeah, he's like, just give her a buzz. I'm like, dude. So, like, even when we were talking today, I was like, you know, not that I feel weird, but, like, you know, the first time you meet somebody, you don't want to be a creep. Like, oh, hey, I'll come over to your place. You do my makeup. We haven't met. You know, I'm like, no, yeah, come to the station. You know what I mean? Do that so you realize that I'm not a freaking creep, you know? Call her. You were sleeping, too. He's like, she's sleeping right now. Don't call her right now.
and in a lot of pain.
I'm like, I think I said to him, I'm like, I'm not fucking calling her. You wake her up, asshole.
He was like, I'm not doing it. You do it.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, wait, I've seen this trick too many times before. So,
Oh, well.
if anybody has any questions about makeup, I don't know why no one's called. Who knows? But there's a ton of comments online, people that are watching you. We're going to do this again at the end. Tell them where they can reach you, because we're going to get into some stupid stuff, because I like to invite people into, you know, what I like to do every week, which is laugh about weird stuff.
Yeah,
By the
cool.
way, I appreciate what she did on my face here. I look like I got punched in the eye over here. What your Instagram, Facebook, contact information, or if anybody wants to get in touch with you for any type of wedding or makeup, or I'm trying to get her in touch with my friend Anthony for Comic-Con, stuff like that, where they can get in touch with you and how they can do that.
Yeah, so, I mean, I pretty much run my whole business out of Facebook, and you can reach me on there just by looking me up. It's Kate Morrissey, and it is spelled Kayte. I have to tell you that because most people don't spell their name that way.
I've never seen it spelled that way.
Yeah, me neither. That's why I like it. And from there, I mean, I have a VIP group also, which I can add you in if you're interested in. And we do contests and prizes and games. And, you know, I talk about some stuff that's relevant to me that isn't necessarily makeup related, whether it's anxiety stuff, mom stuff, nurse stuff, whatever. So anyone who has those types of interests can get in on that. And I would say that's probably the easiest way. But I also have an email if anybody wants to email me, and it's km.uniquebeauty, and it's spelled YOU, like the brand, YOUNIQUE, beauty.com, at gmail.com. And definitely you can private message me on Facebook. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me, if I'm being honest. And I have my phone on me all the time, and I am pretty responsive pretty quickly, so.
That's very cool. And you said the peak word that always gets my interest, anxiety.
Yeah.
I have. I don't. I want to say it was right after my friend killed himself. I don't know what it was. It was one of those things. I was on a plane going to see my parents in Florida. Right. I'm always that guy grabbing you get past TSA, and I'm like, military mindset. Let me grab something I can jam in someone's neck if something goes wrong on the plane, just to defend anybody that's on the plane. You know what I mean? And for whatever reason, those are the thoughts that usually go through my head. And I remember this one time I was going to see my parents 3 years ago. I didn't do that. I was just like in a funk. I don't know what it was. And I got on a plane. It was the first time I ever had like an anxiety attack. I didn't know what the hell it was. It just hit me like a freaking tidal wave. I was white knuckled, holding the seat in front of me as the plane was taking off. I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is this? And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I talk to people all the time about it. You know what I mean? I help other veterans with it. Anyone that wants to discuss it, they've called on the show before in person. They're like, what do I do? I'm like, well, hey, once you realize that friend's there, you're going to manage it a little bit. And you need to learn how to manage it. So a lot of people that get it, they don't know what it is. I didn't know what it was for a while. So, question for you is when, if, how long have you had it? When was the moment where you realized, like, shit, what is this? I got to do something about this. Because when it happened to me, I was like, whoa, that was a tidal wave I was not expecting out of nowhere. Like, I'm not afraid of anything, but I'm telling you what, I was afraid of anxiety that day.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling. And I've had anxiety for several years now. It's not something I've always had, though. I mean, as a kid, I feel like I was pretty normal. And I would get, anxious about certain situations, but no different than any other kid who might get anxious about, like, the 8th grade dance and, stupid things like that.
Do I ask her to dance with
Yeah,
me?
right, exactly. Normal stuff. But in my adult life, and I think through, some of the things that I've been through, I've really kind of stumbled into, like, this OCD, which I just recently, in the last few years, was diagnosed with because I didn't really recognize it for what it was. But OCD is not fun, and ultimately it causes a lot of anxiety for really stupid reasons. Like, really stupid reasons. I'm a smart person, and I can logically think, okay, having anxiety over this particular thing is really stupid, but it doesn't change the heart racing and the feeling like you can't breathe and the need to, like, do something because you can't sit still. Yeah, it's crazy. So I went to therapy and I'm on medication for anxiety. But I will say, like, even just the whole unique thing that I'm doing, being live and doing makeup tutorials and chatting with other people who also have anxiety, who have things to share, really calms me. So in the last year or so, my anxiety is like, it's there. It's not going anywhere. But it's definitely more manageable now. And I feel like I have more tools other than just swallowing some pills to kind of manage it.
I wish you were here last week. I swear to God, we had this caller, and we were discussing this outside. You said some of the things that I constantly discuss. Tools. Have enough tools in the bag to manage it.
Right.
And oh, God. It's the adrenaline, like you said, it just skyrockets. You're like, what? Fuck.
Yeah.
I've only had a couple anxiety issues but like the couple that I've had have been, not that great. But it's not something that, but I understand what it's like, but I don't necessarily deal with it all the time. I can only imagine having to, work with something like that on a consistent basis. It's not great.
Well, I mean, this poor guy has to deal with my OCD, like, to the point where I have to keep my toothbrush stored separately than his. He's not allowed to touch or use my pillows, which he still does when I'm not home, and then laughs about it.
So my co-host Rob, who's not here, I think something ran into a schedule issue. Like I told you, that was awake. But he like when we had that caller, he said, "Hey, some of the most talented people in the world, have
Are mentally ill.
mentally ill. They're not ill. Like you have, they're not they're problems for you. I recognize the problem. They're not a problem for me because I'm working on it." He's like, "We're chocolate messes, people. We're coming." And I find that the more people that I talk to, whether it's a family member or a friend or an acquaintance, and they, that's a guy. He talks about how he goes to talk to people. What a weirdo. Like, fuck you. Look at your shoes. The left one's untied, idiot. Like, I can manage that.
Right.
It takes a bigger person to sit there and talk about their issues. So, hey.
Unfortunately for her, mine's the ADHD, which is like goes against the grain of everything. That's
Oh,
wrong
it's
with
like
her.
the worst combination. Me having OCD and him having ADHD is just not.
It's like that what's that, Stewie from,
Mum, mummy,
Mum,
mama.
Cookie!
Mum. Yeah.
What?
No.
Cookie.
Yeah, well, for him, it's just like the tapping and the. I mean, I could be like, stop tapping. And he's like, oh, sorry. And literally 2 minutes later, he's tapping again and doesn't even realize he's
That's
doing it.
because he's probably playing a song. In his
Always.
head.
That's it.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had OCD when I was a kid, and it went away. I don't have it anymore. I just have.
See, mine came on as an adult. I did not have it as a kid, but
We had stairs at my house, and I would click my teeth 3 times. So every time I walked up, there was 17 steps. I counted because I would.
I
go
count
up them.
stairs too, and I have to start over if I lose count. That's pretty crazy, but that's legit.
This is what happens, right? So if I would go just the first 3 steps, I would go 1, 2, 3, and if I didn't like the sound of the count or the click of my teeth, back down. Do you know how many fucking times I would an hour, 3 steps down, 3 steps down, 3 steps down, 3 steps down. My dad was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing." Like it would take him to get me out of it. I would just get stuck in that repetitive cycle. It went away, as I thank Christ, I don't really feel like clicking my teeth or counting the number 3. Now it kind of makes sense. My wife makes fun of me because the number 3 is the only number when I write.
Yeah.
My father was a lefty, so I have I'm really good at typing, but my handwriting sucks. When I write 3, I go, ugh. Like it's so hard.
It's a struggle.
Just to write the number 3.
That's strange.
Maybe that has something to do with it. But it's weird how the brain works. Like you just get stuck in that repetitive cycle.
Yeah. And I will say, like, therapy was pretty enlightening because it made me talk about these things where in my own mind, I would somehow justify these things that I was doing as being like, oh, whatever, it's fine, it's no big deal. But when I had to, sit there and tell other
Try to
people
rationalize it
and
to
watch the look
somebody.
on their face, well, I'm like, oh, well, I have to count the stairs when I walk up them. If I lose count, I have to start over, or I have anxiety, so I have to choose. Do I look like a crazy person and go back down the stairs and back up, or do I just deal with the anxiety? In public, I deal with the anxiety, but, if I'm having a conversation with somebody going up or downstairs, I am not listening to what they're saying because I'm counting the stairs. It's kind of, it can be a hindrance for sure, but... there's a lot of little weird things that I have to do or not do. Otherwise, I get anxiety. And in a lot of cases, I just deal with the anxiety rather than dealing with the repetitive stuff. Like my desk at work, everybody thinks it's a big joke. They'll come in and move my stapler over an inch, wondering if I'm going to notice.
Oh,
I
that's
notice
just
every time.
cruel.
I
It's like-
notice every time.
It's like Office Space. Did you touch my stapler?
Yeah, right. They all think it's funny, but I notice every single time. So
I used to mess with a guy at work.
I
He
hate
was
those
really.
people now.
Oh, dude. This guy I worked with, he was a stickler about his tools. Worked in a very dirty industry, working on oil lines and all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff. After everything, he would clean them and put every tool back in the box. Even if he needed it 2 seconds
2
later,
seconds, yeah.
he was like, okay, pull the same tool back out. So, when he would go to the bathroom, me and my buddy would be like, close. And he'd be like, oh, touch my stuff. I'm like, I have no idea, And now,
Bad nervous breakdown.
oh, now I feel like a huge dick because now if someone did that to me, my
Yeah.
shoes at home, you know what I mean? If something's out of place in the kitchen, I'm like, don't yell at my 7 and 5-year-old. They're 7 and 5. Okay, all right, I'll pick it up. I'll clean it. That's how I got to the point. I was like, this is how I got to deal with this. I shouldn't be getting mad about certain stupid things like that, But
Right.
talking about it gets me out of that funk, and it really sheds dead weight for people that you shouldn't be talking to in the first place that are judging you.
Exactly.
That's when you go, oh, this person's cool. Yeah, you sucked. Known you forever, Grandma. You
I
know
don't
what I
want to
mean?
say
Yeah,
I'm
right.
jealous, but I wish I cared about. You guys are like, oh, I have my shoes nice. Like, I wish I cared about my shoes that much.
He doesn't care about anything that much.
Barely.
They don't call him Cool Breeze for nothing.
Oh, you shouldn't have told me that. That's his new name. Shoes, hoodie, like I said, hoodies, and I have like a wall locker, and like my wife does laundry. You know, if something's like if there's a stack of shirts, there's one shirt. I'm like, I don't know. My stepmother, my mom, she was just a neat freak. We
Yeah.
had a clean house. You take your shoes off when you walk in the door. You make your bed. You do this. You do. So now that I'm older, I don't have that. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You know, now I gotta be that person.
Yeah, exactly.
That's too much stuff to put on me.
That sounds impossible.
You're not helping yourself.
I have to say, a lot of that stuff I've like let go because with like 4 teenagers
Yeah,
at
we
the
got
house,
three-
like
three kids
I
in the
will
house,
be
4
yelling and
You have to.
anxious, and so I spend a lot of time either in my makeup room or in my bedroom where I don't have to like look at the shit that's bothering me. But ultimately, you know, I know they're kids, and I don't want to be the hover mom who's like up their ass, being like, pick up that, move that coaster over to there, that needs to be wiped down, like, because what kids don't want to live like that either. So
No, I just wait till they ask for stuff. Like, Dad, can I get this? I'm like, yeah, cool. So, see that like 3 months worth of shit you didn't pick up?
Right,
Go pick
yeah,
that up,
yeah.
and I'll buy you
yeah, we
something.
do that too.
You have to. That's awesome. New Jersey police capture alleged serial diaper dumper. You gotta be shitting
I heard
me.
about this guy.
Fucking what website were you looking at? I just saw this today. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I think he lives on Reddit, so I'm sure it was there.
Yeah, I think this was on like Odd Fox News. New Jersey man accused of stinking up the state by dumping dirty diapers on his roadways over the past year has been caught, authorities said Wednesday. They say his name was spotted on a box truck dropping a load of soiled diapers on the road near routes, blah, blah, blah. What, dude, if your job is to just...
Why? I just don't get it.
You know, like, we have
Different
pickup...
strokes for different folks.
Like, we have, like, pickup trash and, like, a town dump. And, like, if I don't feel like going to the dump, I'll just go to, like, the local gas station that has a dumpster and just throw a bag in there. Like, every time, that's another thing. Maybe I do have OCD. My truck, it's, every time I get out of it, you know, water bottle or a napkin to blow your nose, every time, empty. Back in, it's got to be empty. Empty it, back in, it's got to be empty. But diapers? Like,
Oh, don't look at my car then.
dude.
His
have
car
kids. You have
is
kids.
a garbage truck on wheels. I won't even go out there. I don't want to know.
Oh, you guys, I'm going to
I think he's got like half the kitchen's mugs in his car.
At least you know where they are.
I think.
I'm going to lighten you on a story that we discussed many, many months ago. I went to a funeral, and you know, we were having a few drinks, and somebody ordered, like, we ordered a bunch of Chinese food, and I was like, something was wrong with that Chinese food, man. Like, I was on the way home, and I was only like 4 miles away from the house, and I was like, something's wrong. I couldn't roll the window down fast enough. I only got 3/4 of the Chinese food out the window.
Oh, no.
My fucking truck's, you know, I get a nice truck, all leather seats. It was like in the fucking seat.
Did it get in the window
It got in
slot?
the vents. So when I turned the
Oh,
heat on, I was
yeah.
like, ugh. So I avoided it like an ex-girlfriend for 5 days. I was like, it's just, my truck's just gonna sit in the driveway. I got nothing to do. No hospital
At least
appointments.
it'll
this week.
crust over and deteriorates a little bit.
Yeah, thanks, bud, for reminding me. I really appreciate that. I was like, so hey. It may look like a dump truck
I
on
don't
wheels,
think
but it
there's
will
any-
never smell like
Yeah.
pukey Chinese
I don't
food.
think there's any vomit in there, to my knowledge. But
in
I
my
really
car?
don't know.
No vomit in my car.
No vomit.
Not yet. There's still room for opportunity, pal.
No, yeah, no, there's no vomit.
I gotta think about it for a second.
Stop and think about it. Oh, I love it. So this one had. So I was printing this up. So I don't search for these stories. This one was sent to me. Like
Stories find you.
Curtis. Oh God. In more ways than one. Curtis sent me this and another one. I was like, dude, what is wrong with you? Stolen. My wife was laughing. Stolen inflatable colon found in vacant home.
What?
Oh yeah. So there was an inflatable colon. They were promoting colon cancer. to go-
Recovered. I like how.
So they used that at
they
the
solved
fair?
It. The crime.
You
was
see the
solved.
bumps in the fucking.
I do. The polyps. That person needs a colonoscopy.
You think?
Oh my God.
The giant inflatable pilfered intestine was recovered from a house in Kansas City, Missouri after investigators followed up on a tip. The Kansas City Police Department tweeted on Monday that nobody's been taken into custody yet, noting their investigation into the theft is ongoing. We have recovered the stolen colon. It was weighing 150 pounds and cost more than $4,000. Was poached from the bed of a parked pickup truck. People, if
Who
you
steals an inflatable colon?
and what the fuck are you gonna do with it?
Exactly.
Hey, bud, I'm going to put this online for sale. You want to buy this inflatable ass?
No.
How about no?
Any kids parties? No.
Yeah, you got those jumpy houses? We're out.
No,
We got
but
an
we
inflatable
do
colon.
have
We just
an
inflated inflatable colon. Like, really?
Oh, man.
And if you get caught with that, like, if I was that guy's neighbor,
There's
I
no
wouldn't-
coming back from that.
I wouldn't just talk shit. I'd be like, really, dude? When are you selling the house? Get the fuck out of here. What, are you kidding
You are
me?
no longer welcome.
Yeah. You know, unless you want to share the colon, because I can have my friends over. We could have a good time with it. Stupid people.
Polyps rib via pleasure.
Dude.
I'm gonna start a journal of the things that my husband says.
The subtle comments.
I feel like it could make me a millionaire.
You know, I was thinking about doing a small web series on the side, just like things that dads go through, or that when they get to talk about stuff.
Things
What do they talk?
shouldn't say.
Yeah. My daughter Liv was like, "Dad, why are you looking up that story?" I go, "I'm not looking it up. Uncle Curtis just sent it to me." You know, she's like,
It was
Why?
already looked up, approved, and
"Yeah." You know, she's like, "What is he looking it up for?" I go, "You want to call him?" I don't fucking know, but I think it's funny. She's like, "What's funny about someone stealing an inflatable asshole?" I go, "Say inflatable asshole again." She was like,
there you go.
"Yeah,
case
you're a
in point.
teenager, so
Yeah.
shut up." Middleton Heights staff placed on this is great. Just because it'll piss off so much people that take life too seriously. I could care either way who planned it, but the people that did it, thank God, you're probably all going to get fired. Middleton Heights staff placed on administrative leave over controversial Halloween outfits. So half the staff dressed up as Build the Wall.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
no.
Build the Wall, right? And the other half of the staff, this is where it gets bad, dressed up as
Mexicans?
screwed up.
Oh no.
What's like the demographic?
Who
of
sat in
students?
that?
Yeah.
Who sat in that teachers meeting with? That's a good
This
idea.
was a school?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're all on administrative
Oh
leave.
my god.
Like the whole school. How can they even do that? Would they ship the kids to like different schools then?
I don't know, but
You
some
must
of
get a
them.
lot of substitutes on call.
So,
yeah.
see, I mean, do you remember what you used to do to substitutes? I do. Paper
Yeah.
airplanes,
Yeah.
balls. Yep. I got to go to the bathroom for the fourth time in this
made
period.
one lady in particular, I think, cry and quit.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we did back then. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, substitute. No homework. We don't have to pay attention. Fuck this. I'm
Mm.
good. One guy's stash is beyond epic. It's like down to his cheeks.
He's a
just-
bandolier. Bandito.
Okay, his subtle comments that you should start like it just doing
I'm
something.
saying I should start documenting this stuff.
You should. The handful of concerned adults, with most of the feelings that the action of the staff were in poor taste. A Middleton resident who spent 28 years in teacher public schools wrote the board letter, thought she was unable to read it to them. My stomach got physically ill. All right.
What, seeing them dress up?
Yeah. Like, so I think this story's funny just because anyone with a brain shouldn't have done that because
Yeah.
you should have known
Right,
you're going to get
like, you're a
fired.
bunch of
right?
idiots.
You're an idiot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But at the same time, this bugs me because we live in such a pussified country now where every single little thing is can't do that.
If it's really getting you that ill, then you shouldn't, turn the television on. You shouldn't go down the street. Like,
yeah.
it shouldn't be making you physically ill. It
Like-
was a bad decision, and those people should probably get in trouble. But
What happened to
should
be
all grow up a little bit too.
exactly like
Yeah.
what happened to be able to laugh at shit and go, yeah, that was poor taste.
Yeah, just do like
But it was
the whole
funny.
palm to
Yeah.
the forehead and call it a day. Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Just stupid.
Oh, you guys.
I'm not. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I was like at that meeting where they were like, "We can't believe you guys did this." I'd be like, "Oh, this is great. I get to watch
I mean,
this."
as teachers, it does show a lot of not thinking.
I picture my husband now at that meeting going, "You rascals." It's like one of his favorite words.
Waving a finger.
Yeah.
I have not been.
That's definitely a finger wave.
I still haven't been to. I can't do the parent teachers. I got into it with one of my daughter's teachers. I've been teaching. I'm a math nerd. So
Me
I've been,
too.
Yeah, like when she was like 4, I was teaching her. Excuse me, 3rd grade math.
Nice.
The way we learned it, top
Yeah.
to bottom. And then they came out with the Common Core stuff.
I don't
And
even know how to do that.
It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
It's yeah. I was
Hard
about
to
to say
It's like,
something
let's
way worse.
figure out the hardest way possible to make these children work out these math problems.
Yeah, 8 plus 8 isn't 8 plus 8. It's 8 is 4 plus 4. It could be then downgraded to 4 plus 2 plus 1 plus
and
1
2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. It's ridiculous.
So my daughter was getting hundreds on math tests, and one of the teachers wrote, "Your daughter got 100, but she didn't do any of the problems the right way." And I was like,
But she got the right answer right.
"Here's my phone number.
Mhm.
You guys are so Common Core, and we've talked about it before on the show.
You should have gave me a number in Common Core.
I
Like
gave her
1
my.
plus 1 plus 1 plus 1.
You know what? I should have done that. Sneaky bastard. Yeah, it turned into a little bit of a piss and match, and I was
Yeah.
like, Common Core it was a government book deal, so it was like Hewlett Packard and one other company, I believe. I might be getting those names wrong, but I remember reading the article years ago. So where the government made a deal with the Department of Education, and they said, here, this is what we're going to teach in the country, and they pretty much took teaching out of teachers' hands. So you couldn't have one-on-ones and impact a student or a child like any way that you should really be doing. It was like, here's a packet. So she was just coming home with packets, and I would just keep writing the phone number like, nope, not doing it. She got an A, and they were like, this guy's a little aggressive. I'm like, no, you just an asshole. So 13, I think it's up to 15 now, states in the United States have gone away from that, teaching Common Core. Like, they don't care that the government said you need to teach this. They're like, yes, screw.
Yeah.
Yeah, why all of a sudden did we need to change it?
How am I supposed to help my kid with homework if I don't
Yeah,
know?
we didn't learn that way.
That's not how I learned it.
I think it's
Exactly.
like more or less trying to keep the kids that can't keep up with the kids that are excelling. And when you do that, you're just keeping the kids that are excelling. You're holding them back. And we're more talking, I think, broader numbers than individual like kids here and there. But I think that's kind of what it is. It's trying to keep the majority, the average of kids in the same, race. When that's not really the way that it works. And
People learn at
you
different
just-
speeds.
Yeah, you're holding the people that are accelerating back more than you're helping the ones that aren't. That's my opinion. But I don't know. I also don't know what Common Core really is either. I've never even. I saw all those numbers. I was like, I wasn't good. I wasn't good when there was less numbers. Now there's more numbers.
Right? It was bad when I was showing up late to school, half cooked as it was. Let alone you throwing these I can't even help her with some of the stuff. But
Yeah.
thank God the school she goes to now, it's none of that.
Yeah.
But she's going to the Voc, and she's like, Dad, I want to be criminal justice. I'm like,
Yeah. Voc Tech's the way to go. Especially nowadays.
college is a racket. Massachusetts,
Definitely.
they had that up for vote, I want to say like 4 years ago, to lower the interest rate on loans.
Loans, yeah.
And state of Massachusetts
Said
denied.
No. That's
They were going to
terrible.
lower it from 26%, I believe, to 13%.
Jesus.
And he said, no. Thanks. I really appreciate it.
It's a whole generation of kids paying student loans for the rest of their life.
And what they're going to college for, like I have a cousin, she's a teacher. And 45, 50 grand a year in your loans, you never get like, how are you going to own a house?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You never
And it
gonna be
ends
able
up
to do that.
affecting your credit negatively too. Like if you can't afford to repay your loans right away, if you graduate from school and don't get a job right away and you're expected to pay back loans, like you're already in debt before you even start your career. Like that's not a way to start.
It's like indentured servitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I started watching that guy Jordan Peterson. They're getting kicked out of colleges left and right. He's a professor at Harvard, and he was like, he's a professor at Harvard, and he's finally gotten to the point. Don't go to college.
Yeah, well,
It's
I
a
mean,
waste
it's
of money.
supply and demand. We're at a stage in our country right now where there's like a lot of like infrastructure being built. So like construction jobs are doing very well. You're not really getting your money's worth if you go to college for a liberal arts degree. You should be going in for engineering or being an electrician or like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, some sort of trade or something like that. That's where the money's at right now, and probably will be for the next 10, 15 years. And then everything will flip flop again, and it'll be more centered on whatever it is that these these colleges are offering.
That's where the money's at, and that's also where the debt's not,
Yeah,
right? So it's like, boom.
Yeah.
So, we got a few more minutes here. Oh, jeez, comments. Before we get moving, we got a few minutes left. I want to say thank you to you guys coming on. This was a special show we had to do to talk to Katie about a lot of her talents, and I am in the active process of talking to a few people, trying to get her into Comic-Con. I don't care. I'm going to bother the piss out of you just to
Yeah.
go, here.
Get her into Comic-Con.
Yeah, please do.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he wants me in Comic Con so he can go for free. That's what he wants
yeah.
me for.
No, I can.
Press pack.
Anthony Preziosi, if you listen, he can. I'll give him a call tomorrow. He usually watches the show, but it's on Wednesday, so he
Yeah,
might be
for sure.
sleeping right now. Like I said, he works for that In Beyond Studios, and the stuff you see there is. I used to think it was lame, but then like I had to work one of those events, and I was like, "This is so cool." You know what I mean?
It's
And
definitely
then now I have
lame, but
Wolverine
love it.
tattooed on my
Yeah.
leg. I'm like, I named my son Logan, so
Oh,
There you
that's
go.
cool. Nice.
yeah. What are you doing? We got a few minutes because I want to get you on the
Yeah.
show with the band. As you can see, we got a couple of studios. If anybody's listening, How We Burn, Jesus Christ. Kevin is in that band, so if he wants to throw a shout out and a little bit of promotion of what they got going on, I'm trying to get him on as well because they got some cool, chill music. The first time I heard that song, I was like, first thought I had was 311. I was like, my favorite album isn't even like the popular one. I
Yeah.
liked Grassroots. That was my favorite one. I was like, oh, this reminds me of 311. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, I mean,
The band is such a chill vibe that I feel like anybody can vibe with the music. It's not any particular genre. It's not. I mean, back in the day when they were playing, when they were younger, it was like a lot of heavy metal kind of stuff where some people just can't listen or can't get down with it. And this music is very relatable. And I go to most rehearsals just to be a fly on the wall and watch the process and
Mhm.
watch the creativity and watch these songs like blossom super quick. And the skill level for all these guys is like insane. Like I've never seen guys get together and in an hour have a song like written and done just because they were like screwing around and playing different, riffs on their guitars or whatever. So they're pretty amazing, but he can tell you more.
yeah, well, when I was younger, 17 years old, I'd never played an instrument before. I went over to my buddy's house and he was playing guitar, and I was kind of blown away. And I was like, "How can I get involved?" And joking around, he said, "Well, you could pick up a bass and learn how to play bass." So I
Slap
did-
it a bass, man.
Yeah.
Slap it a bass.
So a week later, I bought it, and I was at his house every night. We ended up meeting a couple dudes, which is our drummer and guitarist, and everything kind of gelled. And we played all through our 20s. We did the whole, Boston nightlife thing, playing out, Bill's Bar, Middle East all the time. And then in our late 20s, things kind of imploded and crumbled, and we stopped playing. And this year, we kind of got the bug, got everyone back together, original guitarist, my buddy's the front man, original drummer and everything like that, got everything going back again, and we started coming up with a couple songs that had something to it. So decided to go full force with it again, and we're just about now. We're still currently recording. We're hoping to be done recording by the end of the year, and we're going to start playing live again by the end of the year. So a lot of good things are up. And I think our first show was it 12/28?
Yeah,
at Middle
November.
East upstairs.
Yep.
So that's when we're looking to come back onto the scene live and loud again. So it's pretty exciting. It's fun being involved with something and then thinking you're never going to do it again, and then all of a sudden you start doing it again, like 10 times better than I can only speak for myself personally, but I was not personally as good back then when we were playing, and to have my talents be where they are now and to be putting it towards the music is really special. So it's a lot of fun to be able to do it with some of your best friends too. So
Why don't you tell people what Low End Logistics is?
I also run Low End Logistics on Facebook, and that's just kind of like a page to promote things that I like with music, some videos that I personally enjoy, and also kind of share other artists that are in Boston, share their talents as well. So like other local bands that are in the area, which I have 4 pages of bands that I've been paying attention to. I like to share if they're doing cool stuff or shows. I like to promote their shows and where they're going to be playing, because I think it's important if I want to be on the music scene, it's going to be important for other bands to be, spotlighted, and for everyone to get a little piece of it too, because there's a lot of talent out there. And I think the more that we help everyone, get out there and get seen, the better it is for everybody. So I just try to promote people as much as possible because everyone we need each other's help out there for everyone to come through. So
I think about it regularly. I'm like, why? So, like, my wife had, like, U.S. magazine on the counter, and it was, like, one of the pages, it was, like, snapshots of celebrities, like, getting coffee, taking the trash out, and getting gas, and, like, it was, like, look, they get gas.
oh, normal
They,
people.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Imagine that.
Holy shit, they're normal, too? Like, and then I was thinking, we don't have to be famous. Like, those people got to that point maybe because they worked hard, or some of them just stumbled into it. Why can't people like you and I do that?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're just like them. You
Mhm.
know, they probably go home and sit on the couch with sweatpants on too, like
Mhm.
just on a Sunday night, because that's what we do. You know, I don't want to
Exactly.
be going out late at night. So supporting your local artists is huge.
Absolutely.
You know?
There's a lot of incredible artists out there. That's one thing too that I've noticed since I've started doing this. Like the amount of talent that's out there in the Boston scene right now is incredible. Like
It is.
I could rattle off a bunch of bands right now that I'm really impressed by.
Rattled off.
But I'll just keep it short and sweet. You know what I mean? I'd rather not. I want to get everyone. You
That's
know what
fine.
I mean? But there's just so many bands out there. You know what I mean? It's just there's a lot of talent on the Boston scene, so it's great for for them to get a voice that speaks for them. So
I was thinking the other day too, like, as much as the cold sucks, because I've lived in like southern states too. I remember I used to think like, oh god, I gotta go back to Boston. Then you miss it so much, and then when you're here, you're like, I love this freaking
Boston's
city.
awesome.
I love this city. We win championships.
Yep.
We have parades. There's so much. Especially the city's been growing and building and cleaning up and all kinds of stuff. Like, I've been to other major cities. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I don't mind traveling, but I always like coming home.
Oh, whenever landing in Boston, it's like the best feeling in the world. Landing like from a plane, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Getting back in town.
You're like,
I'm
oh yeah,
home
that's the
again,
dirty year. I remember it.
Yep, we're home. Definitely. It's
Yeah,
nice.
our flight back from Cancun, you could actually like see, like the city lights and the buildings and all that, like coming into Logan. So it was pretty cool. You're like, oh look, it's home. You're in an airplane, you're looking down, and a lot of states look very different from what our city looks like. Our city's
yeah.
like, it's crazy. It's lit up and it's busy, and you're flying in, you're like, hey, there's something I recognize.
Yeah. Like I was talking to someone the other day about it. Like Denver. I've been to Denver. I was there for a wedding. Estes Park, most beautiful place on earth I think I've ever been. People fly fishing right in the middle of town because the water's running behind the stores and stuff like that. But Denver, I was like, this city is small. It was very, very small. Like the baseball park and the football stadium.
Deceiving, like you wouldn't even think it.
Right?
I mean, I don't know Denver in particular, but I know what was it? Chicago looked real small.
Mhm.
When
Did
we
it
were
really?
when we were
Yeah,
flying in, yeah.
from the plane, it looks really
Did you go
small.
north or south side?
We didn't
I
like
don't even
travel. We
know.
were there for a layover. It was just from the air
Oh,
that we
okay.
saw it. Yeah, I think we landed at O'Hare. So whatever's in and around O'Hare Airport, but it didn't look like that big of a city, not compared to like Boston and the
Mm-mm.
suburbs and
Yeah.
everything like that. Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, let's push some. Let me hear your websites again. So
Yeah.
for all the people
So
listening.
the website is myglamsoul.com. So you can go on there. You can check out all the stuff that we have available. You can also follow me on Facebook, and it's Kate Morrissey, which is Kayte Morrissey, Morrissey. And you can also reach me by email, which is km.uniquebeauty@gmail.com, and it's unique YOU, not just the U.
Yeah, you can check me out on How We Burn on Facebook. That's my band. I'm a bass player for them. And you can also check out Low End Logistics also on Facebook. Also, any local bands, local artists. If you want to contact me and throw me some songs or anything you want me to promote or play on Facebook, throw it at me. I have no problem sharing everything. As a matter of fact, that's part of the reason I like to do it is I want to promote people's work as much as possible. So, How We Burn and Low End Logistics.
Ladies and germs, thank you for listening. We're on every Wednesday, 7 to 10. Like I said, this was a special show because we wanted to start, like Kevin just said, and like Katie said earlier, just promoting other people doing things, So every once in a while, I feel as though I wanted to get to that point to where it's time to, show the love and let people know who's in their community and who can do what. You got people that can play music, you got people that can do art, and just so you know, we have my co-host and I are doing a few videos I've been messing around with my cousin Kyle a little bit. He's into comedy. He won Laugh Boston. He won.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he won like a thing at Mohegan Sun too. So I started writing skits, and I play them out like with my family. and some of them are completely made up lies, right? I'm like, you never imagine what happened the other day, just to see if they work. And they're like, oh my god, that's crazy. I'm like, yeah, I just made that up, just to see, right? So we have videos that are coming up that are going to be intros to our show. So we're going to have a video. Still going to play obviously his music. That's our song, bro. You can sue me later if you want.
No, man.
Until you guys give
Rep
me
it.
another
I
one,
love it.
I'll
I
start
love it.
pushing them. So with those, we're gonna have like lighting and cameras. So we're gonna need your services again.
Yeah, for sure. I am
Um,
always available.
Yeah, because some of the skits we've written aren't just like on your phone. Like we've sat down a bit. Like we're gonna shoot here. Here's the location. This we're gonna. You have no idea, people, how much time goes into a 2-minute writing. It's hours.
Oh, I can
believe it.
imagine.
Oh yeah, the 3-minute song takes just weeks.
Weeks.
Like you get the structure, but it takes so long to iron out the small details. You know.
Yeah, it does. So these are awesome people that are in your community. I want to say thank you to both of you for coming on. Thank you.
Yeah,
joining
thanks for
us.
having us.
Appreciate it.
Good times.
You'll be on again. I'm just telling you right now. Okay? And you'll be on again too.
Fabulous.
Thank you for listening, people.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks
Thank
for showing
you.
up.